Radio South Africa, the time is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. The news read by Stella Hayer. It appears that all 580 passengers and crew of the stricken Greek passenger liner Oceanos are safe after the last 15 crew members were airlifted from the deck of the ship at about 12 o'clock today. The 13-hour rescue drama began just before midnight last night when the Oceanos ran into trouble in stormy weather off Copy Bay on the Transkei coast. It is not yet known if there were casualties early this morning when hundreds of passengers were rescued from lifeboats by 3 passing cargo ships, but there were no serious injuries among the more than 120 people airlifted from the deck by Air Force Puma helicopters. The Oceanus was then about 2 kilometers from the shore. The last 15 crew members were airlifted from the vessel under extremely dangerous conditions. By that stage, the ship was listing at 70 degrees and could have overturned at any moment. The rescue operation was seriously hampered by a strong wind and high seas. Rescue workers were unable to communicate with the ship's captain because radio contact was broken shortly after the ship transmitted an emergency signal. Some of the passengers began jumping overboard this morning when the ship started listing. Rescue equipment was dropped to them from a C-160 Transall aircraft of 28th Squadron at Waterkloof. The Army has turned 2 unused hospitals at Coffee Bay into field hospitals, where 50 medical personnel will treat anyone that could have been injured. The Rescue Control Centre at Silvermine in Cape Town responded immediately after receiving the emergency signal and began the biggest sea rescue ever involving the Air Force and the Navy. Plans were hurriedly implemented to send helicopters, Hercules and Dakota aircraft and Navy strike craft to the scene. A Hercules loaded with medical supplies was put on standby in Pretoria to fly to Coffee Bay if necessary. The military leader of Transkei, Major General Bantu Holomisa, responded to the news by opening Transkei's land and airspace immediately to allow the rescue efforts to continue unhindered. In another ship drama, this time off the eastern Cape Coast near Port Elizabeth, a fully laden 356,000-ton oil tanker is in trouble after its steering gear was smashed by stormy seas. The vessel, the Mimosa, is being driven towards the coast by strong winds and is at present adrift about 45 kilometers offshore. 2 salvage tugs, the Volwat Waltermada and the John Ross, are steaming to the aid of the stricken vessel. The wind is abating, but the tanker is being battered by 8-meter waves. That's the end of the news. Our next news bulletin can be heard at 6 o'clock.